Boo. Hello, 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 hello. Hello. Ah. This is Jeep and Akira and an Oobs. Just had a Barbie trailer and in German. Das Barbie. Interesting choice. How goes all with friends? An ad for Mission Impossible. They still making those? Yeah, Barbie. Yes, Barbie. When is coming a new one? I'd like it's. How many are there at the moment at this point? Too many. Don't remember what ad I had. I always try and ignore ads. There's usually something to do while an ad's happening. I'm still making them, yeah. At some point, Tom Cruise needs to retire, right? Theoretically. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's immortal with all the Scientology powers. Hi, Ragdoll. What might I say? It's impossible to say how many there are. Oh, God, making that many in such a short space of time sounds like quite the mission. German stunned you into inaction. That's fair. Saw the first one several times. Might have seen another one or two some time years ago, but now you don't know. I think they were quite spaced apart to begin with, and then they just accelerated. Is Mission Impossible 7 the last one? And is Mission Impossible 8 the last one? Good sign. Oh, no. Oh, you're crossing over into the title of the stream there. It's fun. I think you've ever seen a Mission Impossible movie. I haven't seen a movie. I want to watch the older Mission Impossible show. That sounds like it's up my street. And then they made it into an action movie and I lost interest. But yeah, welcome. Hi. Here's the Strem. Strem's happening. It's occurring right now. There was a show, yeah, it was an old... Is it black and white? I don't know if it was that old. But it was very old. In much the same way that there was a Wild Wild West show. There was a period where they just sort of took these old weird shows and turned them into films. With varying success. The one in the trailer was probably 7, and then 8th one comes out next year. What? They're still advertising the 7th one. You can't announce when an 8th one's coming out when you're still advertising the 7th. How's that work? Nonsense. You're playing with time. Oh, part 1 and part 2. Okay, that makes more sense. Well, then it's not 7. It's not 8. It's 7-1 and 7-2. I know about series with too many entries in the 7th slot. I play Final Fantasy. Speaking of which, let's head on over, swoosh, to the off-center canvas of doom. And then we do that. There we go. Oh, is that Pacific Rim GIF when you need it? Oh yeah, is that Pacific Rim? I haven't seen that either. Exponentially accelerating thing with a big blackboard. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. That's not even a 7. 7 and 7 bis. Just be encore. Just be the same 7 again. Rolls off the tongue real nice. Yeah. Pacific Rim's real good. Do I have to add that to the list now? Pacific Rim gonna be on the list? They stopped counting after 3. Classic. Yeah, okay, I'll put it on the list. It's on the list underneath Nimona, Clue, and Oliver and Company. Oh, and Mission Impossible. I should probably put that on there as well. Mission 2 Impossible. The last one's just called Mission. Mish Possible. Good time if you like big robo monster battles. I think I've seen like an episode or two of Power Rangers. And that one Beastie Boys video. Intergalactic, right? Well, I found it interesting to note that the second one has a normal 2, but the third one has a Roman numeral 3. Oh, I know how much you like that. I know how much you like it when they do that. Yeah, it's just called Impossible. It's just called No. M-I, me. It's called me. Love it. It's a good time, don't worry. Right. So, story. Drawthrough. Drawthrough's happening. Final Fantasy 9. Things have happened. Lots of things have happened. Vivi's no good, bad day out. Last time, James got angry because somebody offered him a cup of coffee. And that's basically all that happened. The number 3 just isn't very sexy. No. But 3 pillars. Whew, look at me started. Yeah, so we were in the village of Dali, and it was a bit weird because there were no men. And turns out all the men were working underground in a factory making black mages. Out of mist. It's a bit weird. Vivi's not taking it very well. James is on his mission to try and get the princess back to the Alexandrian castle, where she wants to go to Lindblum, and we want to kidnap her to get to Lindblum. I mean, not Simon, Simeon. Vivi's just along for the ride. Then it's a horrible ride. But yeah, James is trying to find out ways of getting her back to the castle, and this guy says, oh yeah, after about half an hour of trying to get any information out of him, he goes, yeah, there's a regular airships go from here to the castle. And he's like, brilliant, when's the next one? He said, well, it's already there and it's going to leave in a minute. So James has a bit of a run. And Simeon M.N. Slut, forgot about that. He arrives and discovers the rest of the characters in a barrel because they got into an altercation, which meant that they got packed into a barrel. Don't worry about it. Don't worry, a barrel it. After poking them out of a barrel, he says, oh yeah, this ship is going to Lindblum. Ah yeah, we're gonna go to Lindblum. And so we're like, great, we'll get on the airship then. And then the Black Waltz number 2 pops up, because there was Black Waltz number 1 in the cave, and we defeated them. And this one turns up and goes, right, cool, I'm here to take the princess back and kill anyone who gets in my way. We promptly kill them. And we get on the airship, which is flying away. We find that the airship is manned entirely by black mages who refuse to speak to anybody, in particular Vivi, who really wants to speak to them. He wants to know what's going on. Please, a friend would be nice to chat with, maybe. Meanwhile, Simeon goes up to the top deck and commandeers the vehicle because he knows it's going to bloody Alexandria, otherwise James wouldn't have mentioned it. So he goes up there and commandeers it. Does the shirt have cat ears? Oh yeah, this is Butterscotch's Princess Butter beer. This is her Moogle hoodie, Moogle onesie that she wore to escape the castle. It's her disguise. It's a commoner disguise. Princess. Cholesterol. Yeah, there's Moogle hoodie. Yeah, so we commandeer the vehicle, but before we commandeer, yes, that's right, the third one shows up, and they're all sparkly apparently, and they have a spoon. Third Black Waltz, and they proceed to threaten Vivi, at which point all the crew comes along and goes, don't do that. Well, they don't say anything. They just arrive and go, and if you arrive and go in front of a Black Waltz, they do bad things. And they just destroy everyone and everything, and the barrels full of black mages are flying off the side and smashing in the air, and Vivi's not having a great time. Oh, the second black mage from the left in the previous image. Oh, this one has like horns. Oh, is that one? Oh, here, maybe. Oh, here, maybe? Kind of looks like it is. There's just supposed to be like a rim on the band, but I'll go with that. We're gonna do a retroactive. These are strange manufactured black mages. They're being manufactured with small cat ears. Cool, that's part of the story now. No, did I ruin? Back to that. Oh, the collar looks like cat ears. Well, I'm gonna keep what I did as well. There's gonna be perfect. Sorry for derailing and having a fixation. What do you mean? How dare you? How dare you derail this incredibly professional stream? I'll have you know, I've been planning the execution of these streams for seconds. .5 is a number of seconds, right? Anywho, big old smashies happen. Bad times, Vivi not happy. Vivi get grumpy. Vivi get angry. Don't make Vivi angry. Gets angry. Petition to draw all the other black mages with cat ears. I mean, probably gonna now. Yeah, so a fight ensues. Vivi becomes pointy Vivi. Because trance. That's probably the last time I'm gonna mention it until way later in the game. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Hang on, they're over here somewhere. Hang on, let's fix this. So yeah, we see that there's a little plane being piloted by FFIX? Was that their names? The little jesters from Alexandria. And they're talking about how, ooh, the Black Waltz seems to be acting a bit weird, and then the Black Waltz flies towards them going, kill, 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 kill. FFIX, there they are. And so their plan is to... hurry up! Their plan is to hurry up and jump out of the ship. And the Black Waltz commandeers the ship, and a chase ensues. Presumably, I deleted the bits of the chase that involves that ends in big old explosion of the Black Waltz hitting into the gate between the Alexandrian territory and the Lindblom territory, which is closed because we weren't authorized to go through it. It's locked. Hi Dark, how you doing? So we won. We beat the 3 Black Waltzes. That's the end of that story. Or is it? So we fly our way to Lindblom, which is where we wanted to go in the first place. Everybody except, well, I guess except James.
That wasn't necessary of you, but you have my thanks.
Thank you, Dark, for subscribing for 18 months. Bloody hell. Time flies. Time flies when you're not paying attention to it. Said a candy. Also, I'm glad there's a Prime sub, because you've already given me money today. We beat the Waltzes before even knowing what they are. Well, they've made themselves clear they are, you know, their purpose was to bring the princess back to the castle. And presumably they had something to do with FFIX, because FFIX kept following them and saying, what is it? But that's about it, really. Yeah, and we get to Lindblom, and we are met by Sir Strawman Hatstand, who is the advisor to the king, who's like, well, everyone's there's like, who are you? Why are you parking in the palace? And the princess goes, I'm a princess. And they go, no, you're not. And she goes, yes, I am. I have this special thing, special, what's the word? I don't say gauntlet, it's not gauntlet. Also, your hand is a hoof. Is that normal? Jewel pendant, which is called the Raven Talon, Ravenclaw? Can't remember what it's called. Anyway, so she's got a thing that proves that she's a royal. And so Strawman Hatstand's like, the princess, I haven't seen you in years. And takes her to the king. The king, however, it turns out, has been turned into a bug. By somebody who broke into the castle and stole his airship and wife. which is not great. He's been afflicted by the Tory curse. Oh no. One hoof hand. There's a way that fits. Falcon's Claw. Yeah, Falcon's Claw pendant. Yeah. Something along those lines. And the first thing that James does when he walks into the throne room is just kick the king across the room, thinking it's just a random bug. Hi, hello. But we're now at Lindblom, and everybody has a little chat about what's going on. The king explains we have a big dinner, big feast, which I'm not going to draw because it's not important. And the king explains some stuff about how, like I say, he's been turned into a bug and into an oglop by an intruder into the castle who stole away the Queen whatever you want to call her, and the airship, also named after her, which was being built to run on steam. Steam! Not mist, like everything else. You wait in anticipation on who people pick for the Inferno 5th. Ooh. Interesting. And we have a chat about stuff like that, and talking about how the king was the one who hired Tantalus, the theatre troupe, to kidnap the princess, and how the plan involved the Oglops, but it also involved a sleeping potion. So the princess was originally going to be put to sleep, the commotion would happen, then would steal her that way. And Simeon had some sleeping weed in his possession. Well, he was going to be the one who did that, but that never ended up happening. Anything else talked about? Oh, the king also is struggling to build a new airship to replace the one that got stolen because he has the brain of a bug. It's a bit difficult to do anything when you've got the brain of a bug. And he's trying to keep it a secret from everyone that he's a bug, which is why his hat stand exists. So that he, he can have a go-between. Yeah, and then at that point, everyone parts ways, because the princess the princess is here in the castle. Life's grand. James is protecting the princess. He's happy. Simeon's done his job, so he buggers off. And Vivi is now in Lindblom and wants to look around. Yeah. So we all go our separate ways. That's about it as far as you can remember. Yeah. Now, Simeon, coming from Lindblom, for this is where Tantalus is based, he knows his way around. And one thing he also knows is that he doesn't like posh food. So he didn't really think much of the feast up in the castle. That ain't his thing. He don't like that. He wants proper food. So he goes to his local pub. Some stools, there's a pub. And what do you think the first thing he does when he arrives is? Think carefully. Flirts. Good eye. Yes, he immediately flirts with the waitress. And he says, "Hey, look, I've been on an airship. I can get you on an airship if you want. Do you want to go on a date on an airship?" I can draw. I've drawn today. I mean, I've done art today, but I can draw.
Slut.
Also, what are these proportions? They're vaguely human. That's not Final Fantasy IX. Big head. Him and Sloot. And the waitress is briefly impressed by the fact that he can, you know, get access to an airship. How hands work? Sure. Like that. But it's Simeon we're talking about here, so it doesn't last long. It's difficult to do rolling eyes when you're in this style. Whatever, you get the idea. Also, you're behind the bar now because you're done with your story. But his efforts are also thwarted by somebody else at the bar, pointing out how much of a loser he is. Oh no, hit him with the serving tray. This is the PS1 era. That serving tray includes the bottle on it baked in. You can't... If you hit someone with a serving tray, you're going to hit them with the bottle as well. Should have paid attention. It's just blonde Fritz. Fritz not a slut, he's a menace. There's a difference. There is a difference. Different sins. Ooh, good omen stuff. Anyway, yeah, somebody at the bar basically talks about how much of a loser Simeon is. And he's like, hey, do you want to take this outside? And the person's like, you don't remember me, do you? He's like, of course I remember you. Janet? No. Oh, yeah, Cassandra, how long has it been? No. Dow, you wouldn't think I'd forget a name like Penelope. No. He's like, I'm kidding. I know you. Well, what's her name? He has an issue remembering all of the people he's chatted up in the past. These look like eyebrows. They're supposed to be part of the hat, but I can use them as eyebrows. Monica? Erica? Rita? I knew that was where that was going. Tina? Sandra? Mary? Jessica? You. Wife, lady wife. Your man. Less angry, more judgment. Lady? DMC did, so why not? Because we're better than that. We're not bringing ourselves down to the level of DMC. Run, maybe. DMC? So what are we going for? Monica, Erica, Rita, Tina, wife, lady? Trying to think of literally any name. Benjamina. That's not a name. Nox? Nox is theoretically a name? Arguably any combination of words is a name. One of our characters is named Butterknife. Knock some sense into him! Yeah! Very dramatic music for this scene, in which nothing is happening. I mean, she does playfully encourage Simeon into a bar brawl, but that doesn't actually happen. She really knocks your socks off. Should we have Nox for the purposes of future puns? Nox lady wife. One of our characters took Butterknife as an alias. Hey, if you're more comfortable with the alias than you are with your real name, that's your name. Her name is what people call you. Nox Ladywife. Okay. She's married. Okay. We'll get to that. If you insist. I can work that in. It makes things worse, but I can. Oh, that's a point. Okay, I'm gonna have to ask a question here, which means if she's married and this is a hyphenated surname, which was her maiden name? This is gonna be important. Oh, her husband's surname's wife. Okay, so she was Nox Lady, then got married and became Nox Lady wife. Right. Okay, good thing. Cool. Feel bad for her already. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, they have a bit of a chat. And they chat about, you know, catching up, old times. It's been a while. It's been like 5 years or whatever. And he says, "Hey, what are you doing in Lindblom? Shouldn't you be in Bermesia and all that? What with you being part of Bermesia? You come from Bermesia, right? I remember these things because I'm good with the ladies." And she said, "No, I'm here for the hunt, Festival of the Hunt. That's on in a bit. Have you forgotten about that?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I was going to join that." But no, you weren't. Like, yeah, no, I'm joining, sure. I'm going to show off my hunting skills, why not? And then he says, "Hey, have you found your husband?" I said, "No." Oh, okay. Anyway, see you at the hunt. Lady Ladle. It sounds more like ladle in the Burmesian tongue, but yeah. Is it though? Is it fine? We'll get to that. It's all right. So yeah, she's looking for her husband. Well, yeah. Sorry, my brain was rewriting the story. I was just gonna say, no, actually, all the Chib said is that she's married, so it didn't have to be a husband. Could be a wife, and then I remembered, no, that character is definitely male. But whatever. It's like really as stupid as Van P say he's not. It's pretty stupid. He's deep down, he's nice and he cares about people, but he is very stupid. It's pronounced ladlewith. I don't know why I wrote that in lowercase. Never write anything on stream in lowercase. That's because you probably can't read it now. I thought he was the dumbest, but this is comparable. See, I haven't played 12, so I can't compare. She could remarry too, you guess? But that doesn't feel right for her. No. He's a charming rogue, not the brains. Exactly. Very confused as why her being married is a bad thing, but we'll find out, I guess. I mean, we did have a conversation of, like, if you found your husband yet? And she said no. Feel like you did a bad thing. No, it's not that bad. I mean, it's bad, but that's not your fault. Anyway. So yeah, Festival of the Hunt's happening. Exciting times. And she asks him, hey, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, I've just done a thing with the group, but I'm kind of out of the group. That's fine, I've been kicked out several times, so I always make it back. Yeah, I'll go to the theatre district, see if I can find them, see if they're back. Last I saw them, they were in a forest. And one of them was made of stone. I think now, when that's mentioned, we get a flash to the rest of the team. Mr. Wife is missing, how tragic. Yeah, so... Yeah, we get a flash. Should I draw them? And nothing really happens. Anyway, we get a little scene of the remainder of the theatre troupe who have just made it out of the forest through different means. March is still in there and made of stone. Sad times, and they're all talking about how they've got to get out and all that sort of stuff. I think it's Alexander says, hey, we should go back and we should go get March. And he's like, no. Whatever his name was. Durgan? Captain Durgan. He's like, no, we shouldn't do that, because if we do that, the forest is going to come alive again, and everything's going to go to hell. What we need to do is we need to find a way to turn things back from being made of stone. And they're like, oh yeah, we should probably do that. Does anyone know anything like that? No. Right. Cool. Well, it's a plan. And that's it. That's the scene. So they have an idea, which is that they could probably maybe somewhere find something where you can, stop people being made of stone. Captain Durgan Porkus, my boy March. Just saying words. Yeah, welcome to the Drawthrough. Yeah, so the Tantalus, who are, well, as we know, and Simeon doesn't, not yet in Lindblom, they've just made it out of the forest, and they do plan, whether or not it's possible, but they do plan to go back for March at some point if they can find a way to stop him being made of stone without resurrecting the entire forest again. Also, they find some coffee. No, they make some coffee. They use the water of a stream by the forest to make really strong coffee. This isn't relevant to the plot, I just remember it when I played through recently, and I'm like, why? There's a lot of conversation around the fact that Alexander's making coffee. Anyway, I think you go back there at some point and pick up coffee that was there. Anywho, Durgan Porkus sounds like Simlish. I can show you Durgan Porkus. That's Vivi. There's Durgan Porkus. with a doll of Princess Zerolda, now Princess Butterknife, and Queen Helga. Right, what else happens? Vivi's here. Oh, that's right. Simeon meets up with Vivi briefly. And he's like, hey, I can show you around town. I can introduce you to people. I can show you the ladies. And Vivi's like, no, that's fine. I just want to be on my own for a bit. Bye. And Vivi goes off and wanders around Limblum. It's very big. And he goes into a little shop. And he finds lots and lots of things he's never seen before, and it's all very exciting. He's like, oh, maybe I can buy this. This looks nice. And he goes up to a little display of food. And he goes, oh, this looks cool. I'm going to buy this. And he goes to the shopkeeper. He's like, I would like to buy this, please. I don't know what it is. But it looks nice. Is it edible? They can show you the world. Shining, shimmering, slutty. Sorry, I had to hold out my hands there for a sec. I don't really know what these look like. I'm just gonna do it like... Well, I'd like to buy this, please. And the shopkeeper's like, oh, are you a friend of the Moogles? Which really sounds like a euphemism now I say it out loud. Is he, you know, friend of the Moogles? Is he? You know? Does he break bread with Muffin? Hmm? Still haven't met Muffin again, have we? There's Miss! Hi, Miss! How you do? Apart from sleep. It's a euphemism for delivering mail. Yeah, is he a friend of the Moogles, aka is he a postman? You're so sleep. Oh no. Oh, you did the travel. How did it go? Was it? Well, it was long, obviously, but was it smooth at least? Have dinner. Yum. That's a lot of hours. I did actually. I was looking into traveling to the Netherlands, and I realized that it's actually a shorter journey theoretically from where I live to the Netherlands than it is for me to visit like Dark or you. So, I mean, there is a sea in the way, but I'm also pretty close to some boats. Too many hours. World is wonky. It's weird. It's weird how it works. See's a bit inconvenient. Spoken like a true Dutch person. Traveling was okay. All in, only had to run once. What? Oh, right, between like a train or a bus or whatever. They're the best bits. They're like, oh crap! Lag it! It's always fun to see somebody running in a train station. Yeah, you don't get proper eyes, you're a random NPC. Miss the sea. I've never tried to hit it. Live less than an hour away from the sea, and yet I do too. I haven't been to the seaside for a decade, probably. I'm gonna have freckles. I'm giving this character a lot of detail. This is the only time they're going to appear. Yeah. So she's like, Vivi's like, "Can I buy this?" And she's like, "Oh, you're a friend of the Moogles." And Vivi goes, "Ah, no, what? No, what? What did I do?" And she said, "Oh, these are Koopo nuts. These are Moogles' favorites. Moogles bloody love these, and it's the last one." I was like, okay. She's like, "No, you can have it for free." Okay. Who's nuts? Koopo nuts. So named after the onomatopoeia surrounding the sound that a Moogle makes, which is crudely written as Koopo and should not be pronounced Koopo when a Moogle says it. So I go, it's not Koopo. Drives me nuts. Anyway, drives me Koopo nuts. Poor Koopo. There is probably a Moogle called Koopo. It makes sense. We name people after flowers and stuff. Yes. So she's like, "Yeah, you can have it. It's the last one." I was like, "Okay, cool." And then there's a sign on the thing which says, "Festival of the Hunt." Something. And Vivi says, "Oh, what's this? There's a festival happening. What's this all about?" And she goes, "Oh yeah, this is great. Have you never heard of it? Have you been living under a rock?" Vivi says, "Yeah, kind of." Does it drive me Koopo nuts? It does. Haha. Yeah, and so she's like, "Okay, well, it's a festival that's happening soon, and anyone can join in, and there's a bunch of animals, and the animals get sort of let loose in the city." Is that animals? This sounds really nice. Thank you very much. And then Vivi runs off, very excited to work out what this festival thing is. She's like, "Oh, wonder why I was excited about a bunch of vicious beasts being let loose in the city. It's very dangerous." Wait, did I say animals again? Keep doing that. Which also kept in FF16, and you're glad they did. Yeah. Personally, I like to think it's just them saying Koopo in the deepest, most ominous voice you've ever heard. Koopo. But everything else they say is like... That's R2-D2. But anyway, so yeah, Vivi's very excited to go to this festival with animals in it, not realizing that it's vicious creatures being hunted. Then they also named a character Hugo Kupka. Hugo Kupka. Koopo. Hugo Kupka. I think of cupcakes. That's just me. I would call him Cupcake. Super Deep Koopo would fit that guy, I guess, if he ever said it. Has there ever been a big Moogle? There's Big Chocobo. Is there a big Moogle? Should be. So that happens. What else happens? Pickles. There's King Mog. King Mog? Does Kate Sith doll count? It's an animatronic. Not sure it counts. Kinda, though. But Winnie the Witch knows Mog's a king now. Huh? Oh, yeah, no, yeah. Is that Winnie? It was Meg, wasn't it? Egg Mog. What was the Kate Sith called in the Drawthrough? I don't remember. Good King Moggle Mog the 12th. He's a boss summon in FF14. Nice. Kate Sith. I think it's pronounced Cat She, but it's Kate Sith because there wasn't voice acting at the time. Beg? Who? Winnie's cat was Wilbur. Who's Winnie? Inform me of the witches. I wish to know. What? You're right there, James. So James is wandering around. He's never been to Lindblom before, and Lindblom is massive. The animatronic thingy, yeah. The big animatronic Moogle with a cat on it. It probably had a Jesse pun name. Feels like it would have. Do you remember this? This is vital to the plot. So yeah, James is wandering around and he's very lost. He doesn't know where he is. I don't know why he left the castle, to be honest, but he did. And he bumps into people and he's like, I am the leader of the Knights of Pluto in their sexy, sexy armor. And people are like, yeah, whatever, good cosplay, mate. In fact, actually, I think he stumbles upon, or is it Vivi? Someone stumbles upon some kids in the street, like playing with little action figures, and there's action figures of the Alexandrian soldiers and the Knights of Pluto, and the kids are arguing about how bad the Knights of Pluto are. Ooh, Winnie the Witch. That's a cute little art style. It's fun. Oh, that's a big Moogle. He's pretty big. I want to fall on them and go. Anyway, during his misadventures around Lindblom, he discovers somebody who smells absolutely awful. Well, they don't smell awful. The thing they're selling smells absolutely awful, which is pickles. And he's like, oh my god, these should be illegal. She's like, everyone says that. Till you try one. Oh dear. These things, they're amazing. Well, some people think they're amazing, some people think they're the worst thing on the planet. But hey, if you think they're amazing, they're amazing. And he's like, I'm not trying that, that's gonna kill me. She's like, I'll go on. Give it a try. So you're trying to poison me? What nefarious deeds are you up to? So, okay, fine, don't try one then. Bloody idiot. Open air pickles in a barrel where people can sneeze on them. COVID doesn't exist in Final Fantasy IX, it's fine. Don't know why I'm giving you such attention. Again, random NPC. We'll never meet again. Just happen to remember that she's wearing a bandana. People can still sneeze on them. Yeah, sneezing is a thing in this world. But diseasels might not be spread by sneezels here, so. King Mog has a theme song. Ooh. Good King Moggle Mog the 12th. I'm sure it In my head, it fits to the Oompa Loompa theme. How you feel every time someone tries to get you to try something new to eat. Anyway, in keeping with his tradition of smelling foul things and then giving them a taste, it turns out he actually really likes them. It's like, oh my god, these are amazing, and then just starts shoveling them into his mouth. And thus we learn he's a real big fan of pickles. Gishel pickles, I believe they're called. Like an apron sort of thing going on. I don't know. Anyway. Baby Vivi sneezes, it's just a little bell. Aww. Ding-a-ling. And it turns out it's just Cuthbert. The vinegar will kill anything that tries to grow there. Except the vinegar mice. Who live entirely on pickles. Ready to doodle some silly things that happen in our game. It's a good time. You'd be pleased to know Cuthbert spends most of his time being dragged by the hat, which is attached to his head. Cuthbert's not allowed within 10,000 miles of Vivi. Don't worry, Vivi's not in hell. Vivi doesn't need Cuthbert in his life. He's already going through a rough time. Exactly. Vivi needs hugs and support. Anyway, yeah, so that happens. He likes pickles. Moving on. The princess is in the castle and she's lamenting the fact that she's not allowed to leave the castle because personal safety, and she's like, oh bloody hell, I'm just as much a prisoner here as I was back home. But eventually the festival of the hunt must begin. Actually, must it? No, hang on. No, I've skipped things. Oh yeah, the Simeon was going back to see if Tantalus were home, were back. He hasn't. And he should. And he goes back to the hideout that they have in a big clock tower, and no one's there. But a couple of kids come running up and are like, hey, we've found some treasure. Can we join the gang now? And he's like, what? That Durgan told us that if we found treasure, we can join the gang. And they hand over some feathers. And he's like, yeah, that's treasure right there. Cool, you can definitely join the gang. Good on you. Hey! And they say, where have you been? He's like, I've been with a princess. It's like, oh, is she your girlfriend? He's like, no, she wouldn't like me. Like, nonsense, that's not you. You flirt with everyone. Even the kids know. Anyway, kids convince him to go and meet the princess again, because he's sort of convinced himself, like, she's out of my league or whatever. And the kids go, no! Go, woo the princess. It's like, great, I'll do that. But I'm not allowed in the palace. So then there's a lengthy sequence of you trying to get into the palace. You, like, knock out a guard, steal the outfit to get in, blah, blah, blah. Now, Mr. Simeon, you're a slut. Go slut yourself out. Yay! You're a slut, Mr. Simeon. Good for you. I'm immortal. I can't do a child voice. I'm a child. Yeah. So he goes to there's a lengthy sequence of him going through the castle and blah, 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 blah. Eventually he makes it up, and he hears, as he's going, a song. A song that is familiar to him from Dali. Do you remember he woke up in an inn? In the inn, no one was there, but he heard a song being sung. Turns out that was the princess. She's singing on top of a balcony by a telescope. Lamenting about the fact that she can't leave the castle. Or the palace, I guess. Where was this music when we were in the pub? She's already lamenting there, literally just got it. Yeah. Well, you're gonna like her next plan. Oh, that's another thing that they talk about at the dinner. Which is why the king kidnapped her, which is that basically for quite a while now, ever since the death of the king in Alexandria, the queen's been acting real weird, and there have been ruminations of warmongering going on, and some random skirmishes that have not been able to be verified, and they're really worried that the queen's going to do something really strange, and by the looks of it, they're now manufacturing mages, which is not great. I've been stuck for a day in the palace. I've been nearly hunted to death by a black wizard, and God kidnapped horrible plants. What a disaster. I know. Just like, this is just as bad. Your HelloFresh box delivery is planned at 9:15, which is diabolical. People shouldn't still be delivering things at 9:15. She can take off the disguise now, I guess. Oh, and that's another thing they talk about, which I completely forgot, is that after once everybody goes out into Lindblum, and it's just the king and the princess, he confides in her. He confides something in her, the little Oglop king, which is that it's not strictly true that somebody came in and turned him into a bug and stole his wife and his ship. Probably more that he got a bit flirty with somebody and his wife got really upset and turned him into an Oglop and stole his ship and ran away. Slightly more closer to the truth. The king is also a slut, yes, but now he's a bug. So serves him right, question mark? Bug slut. King bug slut. Anyway, the princess was singing. Now that that's all over, again, this is a lot of things happen here, and I'm trying to get them straight in my head. Yeah. What was I saying? Yes, so Simeon finds her on the balcony, singing, and he's like, "Oh, that's a very nice song." She's like, "Yeah, I've just known it all my life. It's very pretty. It makes me feel good when I'm feeling bad." Oh, that's nice. And then Simeon does the Simeon thing of trying to chat her up. Maybe that's why he's here. Makes sense. Didn't end well for the king, really, but anyway. And there's a telescope here, and they have a look at the landscape all around and the things around Lindblum, and they see that there's a swamp not too far away. There's a forest with a bunch of Jacobas. There's the south gate, which is being repaired because we crashed into it, but we didn't crash into it. The Black Waltz did. There's some other bits and bobs. What else is there? There's a river. Mountains. We're surrounded by mountains. Basically, on the continent that we're on, the various sort of kingdoms are separated by big mountains. So that's the sort of demarcation point that we can use to say, this is my land, this is your land. Very simple. Easy to sort out border disputes. Right up until they work out technology to easily traverse mountains, I suppose. So yeah, they have a fun little time looking through the telescope, and just a little sort of cute scene. And then he goes, "So hey, yeah, well, when you're thinking about taking that airship ride with me?" And she's like, "What?" And he goes, "No, that was the waitress, wasn't it?" She's like, "Did you confuse me for someone else?" No. So he rather screws it up a bit. Rip to this guy, exactly. She's like, no, what? He's the worst. And he jumps up on here for some reason. I can't remember exactly the circumstances. Anyway, it doesn't. He tries to claw back some respect. It doesn't quite work. But the princess does actually have a use for him. In the form of her remembering that the original plan to kidnap her was that there was sleeping weed, and she's a little fretful at the moment, and she would like to borrow some of that for the purposes of trying to get to sleep, because lots happened, lots on her mind. She can't sleep very well. And meanwhile, this guy's trying to impress her by jumping around on balconies and stuff. She's like, look, I'll forgive you for confusing me for somebody else who tried to chat up earlier today. If you give me some of that stuff. Give me the stuff. Like a dealer. Give me the weed. He's like, oh, sure, cool, why not? Like, I wouldn't think you were into that sort of thing, but sure, why not? So he hands over the sleep weed. I don't know why I'm drawing this particular part of the conversation, not him being embarrassed by confusing her for someone else, but hey. So yeah, he rather blows it. But he has a plan. Which is... Oh, that's it. Does he say, like... Look, here's the deal. If I win the Festival of the Hunt, will you go out on a date with me? She's like, why would I do that? And I think that's why the weed stuff comes in. Oh, there's more paper stuff happening. Oh, I'll have to look that up afterwards. So yeah, he tries to sort of big it up, and is like, hey, if I win the Festival of the Hunt, will you go on a date with me? And she's like, whatever. It's like, brilliant, that's a yes. And now the hunt can begin. And there's a few entries into the hunt. We see that Simeon has joined the hunt. We know that... what was the name? I've already forgotten. Nox Ladywife. Nox Ladywife is in the hunt. Simeon's in the hunt. And Vivi's in the hunt, not really knowing what it is. And yeah, they're getting briefed. There's also some other people. There's a big hunt thing. And they're getting briefed on like what the hunt is, and basically a bunch of animals are going to get released into the city, and you have to hunt them. And the more numerous and bigger the prey, the better. And there's a whole series of scenarios of like these people with caged, massive caged like rhino things, and they're bursting out. They can't contain them anymore, and just civilians running for their lives going, this is a terrible thing, why do we do this every year? Can you actually win this thing? Yes. And so I'm going to give you guys the choice, because you have a slightly different situation depending on who wins this event. You can have either I do not know how to draw you head on, I'm sorry. Should have planned for this, really. Rat Dragon friend Nox. She could win. Vivi could win, which is basically in order to get Vivi to win. Yeah, Simeon can win if you do well, because you're in control of Simeon in the game. If you don't really do anything, Nox will win, because she's very competent. She's a descendant of Ernstern, you know. You don't want Simeon to win anything. Hey, look, it's the worst picture of this character ever drawn. She's Ernstern that can jump. Ernstern can jump. Yes, she's a Dragoon Knight, which means she has the ability to jump and take about a minute to come back down. But yeah, if you do well as Simeon, you can win as Simeon. If you do basically nothing, Nox will win by default. However, if you actively manage to sabotage Nox by wasting a lot of time with her in your party, you sort of team up to fight a really big monster, and if you just completely screw that up, Vivi can win, because no one else is left. I don't know why I'm drawing a character select menu for this, but... I could have set up the vote thing, didn't I? Does that still work? So who wins this? It's not... I'll say now. It doesn't really matter. Look at that pain smile. It's hard being Simeon, you know? I think there are several times during this that you can find Vivi running around being chased by squirrels. Vivi's no good, real bad day continues. With, I guess, public humiliation. As long as Simeon loses, you're happy. If it helps, whenever I play this game, I just go into the hunt and immediately kill Simeon. And then fail. That's my standard standard tactic for this. I think Vivi deserves the win, but you'll always think that. Yeah, the in-game prizes are Gil, an accessory, and a card. Yes. So they get to choose their prize. I'm not entirely sure how that works in this world, but sure. They get to choose their prize, and Simeon goes, yeah, money sounds good. I'll have money. Nox says that they will have a rare accessory, which is good for learning techniques and things like that, because they're a Dragoon Knight. They want to hone their craft and all that. And Vivi doesn't really understand what's going on, so he says, have you got any nice cards? I have a card. And they're like, sure. How do you draw? It's hard. It's there. Her face is like this. How do you draw that head on? Also, does she have whiskers? Might have whiskers. Give Vivi the card! Too stubborn to let yourself do poorly, so even though you don't particularly care for Simeon's prize, you'll always try your best to win. See, I am a sucker for learning abilities in this game. It's so satisfying. So I'm just like, yes. Nox wins. Give me that accessory. I want to learn abilities. Very Moorish. She does have whiskers. Nice. They're kind of like rat dragon people. It's an interesting design. It's the PS1. Do you think they rendered whiskers? Good point. But also, having looked back at the game at Simeon's ponytail, it's like a pixel. So I'm definitely exaggerating it in these pictures. But yeah, we can let Vivi win. Vivi wins a card. Plus card. It's the Ace of Hearts. I can draw a heart. Well, this is Fantasy World. They probably wouldn't have the same suits, would they? They always come up with something weird as different suits. Oh, the Ace of Peaches. Where's Bear when you needed it? Congratulations, Vivi. You are now the proud owner of a rare Ace of Peaches. Ace of Butts. Good job. You win. You won by everybody else doing worse. Luigi wins by doing nothing. Do you have triumphant music? I haven't actually done victory music. I also didn't do music that replaces the music during this section, which is very good, but I couldn't really think of anything I would do for it, so I didn't. You can have... Well, we can do the teatro thing. Got a similar sort of feel. Yay, proud of the BB. I'm good. Right. Now, they have a little ceremony in the palace with the king. I don't know why they have it with the king. I thought the king was supposed to not try and show everybody that he's a bug, but whatever. This is a moustache, by the way. He's got a very big moustache. So yeah, the king's here, as is everybody else. I might as well just incorporate it into this. So I don't have to draw everybody. I think also the princess and what's his face is. Oh, that's it. Another thing I forgot to mention, which I do actually like from this, which is you get a little scene of James and Butterknife watching the hunt, and Butterknife's like, why did they do this? This is awful. Why are people doing this? And James is like, go on, Vivi, you can do it. Come on, Master Vivi. I believe in you. No, don't run away from the squirrel. You can do it. He's getting very excited. James is Vivi's #1 fan, and it's his most redeeming quality. I thought about that, but I've just remembered. So, and it's important to note. So proud of Master BB Vivi. Yeah. Anyway, while this is happening, a dying soldier comes in. No, that's all right. This music is much too chipper for this. Brilliant timing. Time for Mood Whiplash. Oh yeah. Guess I should probably get used to drawing this armor. Yes, a dying soldier enters and goes, "My king! They're attacking! They're attacking Babisia! The Alexandria are attacking!" And everyone's like, "What?" And so just like, "Send reinforcements! The king is in danger!" And the king's like, how are they attacking? What's going on? And they go, "An army of black mages swamped the city. Package arrived. What did you miss?" VV won a competition and then a soldier's dying. But enjoy the package. Yeah, so a soldier arrives and basically says, "Hey, Bamisi is under attack by Alexandria. They've just full-scale invasion with an army of black mages. The king's in trouble. Everyone's dead. Help." Yeah, Vivi won a card in the kingdom of the Rat Dragon peoples being attacked. Exactly. Now, an army of big Vivis. Yes, exactly. And Vivi's like, "What? What? But they helped me. What?" Existentialism continues. And then the soldier dies. Because dramatic effect. Now, what follows is one of the most unusual conversations in the game, in my opinion. I was playing it through recently to sort of remind myself, and I was like, why? I mean, I get it. So they're like, right, well, we need to go to Bermesia. We can't send a full-scale army, because if we send a full-scale army, Alexandria will just attack us. So we're gonna have to send someone. And Nox is like, well, I'm going. This is my home. This is where I'm from. I need to work out what's going on. The king's bloody in danger. I'm supposed to be there as a dragoon knight. So yeah, Nox is like, yeah, I'm doing that. And Vivi's like, I'm gonna go because I want to know what's going on with the mages. They seem nice. Why are they're not attacking, are they? And Simeon's like, well, I'll come with you. I've got nothing else to do. Simeon being Simeon. Maybe Vivi wants to know what's up with his cousins. Exactly. Vivi's he's going through his existential situation. And the princess is like, great, cool, let's go. And the king's like, hold on a second, you're not going anywhere. This is war, princess. Not allowed to just walk out into war. And she's like, but I want to know what's going on with my mum. Invading bloody other kingdoms for no reason. It's like, princess, this is real serious. Yeah, exactly. Read the room. Simeon, sure, he's an idiot. You. And she's like, and James reasonably goes, yeah, princess, this is not a good idea. My job's to protect you, and it's very difficult to protect you in a war. Yeah, you don't have the same excuse of being a horny idiot. Also, given that we assumed that Vivi won this, Simeon's definitely not getting that date. I don't think he ever was, but yeah. So what then happens is they all have a big meal. Just for funsies. So the excuse given is that they have to wait for the gate to open so that they can leave. Apparently it's a gate that takes long enough to cook a meal and eat it. Not quite sure I understand that, but sure, they have a big banquet with lots of food and stuffs. The Jimkin drumsticks. And jelly. And whatnot. This thing. His name is Peter. So yeah, they're all gathered round, nomming on the food. Nom 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 nom. And the princess is being grumpy because she wants to go to war. I think she just wants to get out again, right? It's like the train crossing where you live. What? There's a feast. Leave the house 1 minute too late and you might as well left half an hour late. Oh, right. The very slow opening gate. Yeah. The Queen's being all grumpy and is not really eating food. She's put her hood on, because that's her grumpy hood now. The overweight? Don't know what that's called. Overweight. So she's a teenager. Probably. How old is she? But yeah, definitely acting like it. Doesn't get their way so far as they hood up. 16, see, exactly. There's a 16-year-old. With a Moogle hoodie. Moogle onesie. Getting all grumpy. Yeah, level crossing? Well, by the sounds of overway. But then, if it just goes over, then it wouldn't need to close, would it? So... if Simeon's 16, I just said randomly that it's been 5 years since he met, what's the face? Nox. Did he meet when he was like 13? Don't know how that works. Intersection between a road and a highway. Yeah, level crossing. We would call it a level crossing. Anyway, at this point, everyone collapses. I did practice drawing you, Nox. Could you be a little more cooperative? Simple. I think you translated it a bit too literally. Yeah, we've all got informal terminology to refer to these things. It's all good. So yes, mid-meal, everybody collapses. And James is like, oh god, the food's poisoned! Oh god, I can feel myself fading away, help! At which point the princess goes, what are you talking about? I didn't put any in your food. So yeah, do you remember that sleeping weed that the princess borrowed? Somehow, I don't know how, she laced the food with the sleeping weed and now everyone's fallen asleep, which means she can escape again. She wants to escape from another castle because she's 16 years old. Yeah, I like this scene because it just involves James being a hypochondriac. I was like, oh no, actually, I feel fine now. That's a good point. Yeah, that's good. He's absolutely convinced he's just been poisoned. I've been poisoned, I'm dying! The light is fading. I'm sorry, princess, I didn't protect you. James, you're an idiot. So yeah, it was more than just her being a grumpy teenager that was the reason she wasn't eating the food and had a hoodie up. But anyway, the queen's like, right, okay. People here don't seem to be taking my stuff seriously because Lindblom doesn't even bloody want to investigate when Alexandria is declaring war on somewhere. Last resort, we're going to Trino. And James is like, we can't leave the castle, there's war happening. It's like, we're not going to the war, we're going to Trino. It's the opposite direction. It's fine. And he's like, princess, I cannot allow this. And she says, I'm leaving. Do you want to come with me or not? Do you want me to go alone? Hey, Bear. How you doing? Everything's fine. You're having a good time. So confused as to what's happening. The princess is being... Princess wants somebody to work out what's going on with the queen. She got here and Lindblom went, well, we can't really investigate because that's kind of an act of war. And she's like, fine. And then she runs away again, but no one would let her run away, so she had to make everyone fall asleep. Just doing comm work. Nice. Would you say you're a comm artist? Anyway, words. Words happen, and the story continues thus. Yeah, so they run away again, but now they're going to Trino, which is another city. It's not like a kingdom or anything, it's just a city. There you go. There you go. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. I mean, it also makes me a comm artist, but anyway. We're all comm artists. Yee. So they run away, and then eventually everybody around the table wakes up and they're like, bloody princess. Because they kind of heard in the sort of sleepy stupor what was going on. Simeon definitely did, because he's got a weird relationship with sleep. He woke up from the Black Waltz, making everyone fall asleep, so he's, I guess, resistant to sleep in some respect. Monkey people, they're resistant to sleep, who'd have thought? So yeah, they all wake up and she's gone, and they're like, right, well, we've got to investigate this whole Bermesia thing. And by thing, I mean invasion. So we're going to go off and do that. So they do. By now, the gate's open. By now, Oobs' level crossing is finally raised. And we're allowed out into the world, and the team bifurcates. Princess Butterknife and James off in one direction, and Vivi, Nox, and Simeon off in another. Given that this music is playing, I will give you the option, if you want to, this is completely optional, to go to a swamp or a forest. You could do either, you could do both, or we could just go straight to where we need to go. I mean, we can't get to Burmesia because there's mountains in the way, but there is like a grotto that we can pass through. So that's where we need to go. But there's also a swamp and a forest. When in doubt, swamp. Well, the swamp music's playing, so that helps. We swamping it up? Swamp? Swamp. Okay, cool. Right. You go to a swamp. This is a swamp you actually have seen before in the game, because all of the tutorials for the game take place here. You just get transported to this swamp where there are a couple of Moogles chatting about things, and there's like a little Moogle and a big Moogle, and the little Moogle's like, "Oh, teach me things about the world, big brother." And he's like, "Yeah, sure, I can teach you all sorts of things." And then a list of tutorials comes up, and then you can just cancel out of the tutorial. And the little one goes, "Oh, you sure know a lot," despite the fact he said absolutely nothing. And it makes me laugh every time. Just like, "Teach me all the things. I will teach you all the things." There you go. Did you enjoy? Alright, so you go into the swamp. You can meet those Moogles if you like. However, there's some other things that happen here. In particular, frogs. A lot of frogs here. In a swamp. Who'd have thought? And you can catch a frog. If you so desire. Now, why would you desire to catch a frog? Good question, me. Well, the answer is simple. There are people here who like frogs. And by people, because frogs are cute. True. In practice drawing this character, didn't I? So yes, we come up to our first instance of meeting one of the... Are they referred to as the Quens? Or the Qs? The Qs. Because this is Q's Marsh. And you can give this person a frog. And they go, "Yeah, frog!" Give me frog, like frog. Yes, please, frog. Give frog. I will do good thing with frog. They say, holding a massive fork. Probably missing something from this design, but I think I got the main principles here of what a queue looks like. So yeah, you can give them a frog and they're like, oh yes, you're good at catching frogs, I like you, you're a friend. Yee. Big friend, do you want to catch more frogs? And we're like, what? You okay? Is there the adult supervision around? They go, yeah. Go to the hut. Master the things in there. Who I'm going to draw now in a wooden hut on top of the swamp. While I'm doing this, feel free to think of a name for this character. And also a name for their master. As the name of the tribe may imply, queues are a good place to start, but by no means essential. Quarantine. I can't remember what this character looks like, but vaguely remember that they have like a chef's hat. So anyway, yes, you meet the leader of the tribe. Are they called Quarantine, or is it the other one called Quarantine? I will also need a third name. 3 names are good. Oh, I've just realised something. Vivi has 0 luck. Quimbsh? Quimbsh! Which one's which? Which one's Quimbsh and which one's Quarantine? And which one is the mystery third name? These things are important, believe it or not. Not when I say these things, I don't mean these people, I mean the names. These people are also important, but otherwise I wouldn't be drawing them, he says, having already drawn several characters that were not important. Quark, Quumcot, Quumcat, Quamcat, Kumquat, but the other way around. Quiz, Quark, Quiz, Kumquat, Quimbsh. I like Quimbsh. Quimbsh is in there. Quimbsh is in the raffle. Not getting rid of Quimbsh. Quench is also good. I mean, the gimmick of these guys is all to do with like food. They are gourmets. They are experts in food and understanding food and all that sort of thing, which is hence the chef's hat, I guess. So Quench kind of works. Quickly's good. We're gonna have to do a raffle. Quatatouille. Okay, I'm gonna call you Master Quatatouille. Quashed potatoes. Braised quail. Quail could work. Okay, well, I'm gonna executive decision. As much as I'm enjoying all these cues, I'm gonna say this is Quimbsh. This is Master Quatatouille, and we will also take quail. So yeah, we have a little conversation. Quimbsh is like, "Hey, Master, I found people can catch frogs, and frogs are good." And the Master's like, "Quimbsh, you're an idiot. You keep running around the swamp trying to eat frogs." And Quimbsh is like, "Yeah, frogs are good." He's like, "You're a fool. You know nothing of the outside world. You spend all your time in this swamp catching frogs. You need to go out into the world and actually find some better food." And Quimbsh is like, "Better food? But frogs." "No, better food in world. Follow your dreams. My dreams are frogs. Get out of the swamp." And the gist of this conversation is that Master Quatatouille convinces Quimbsh to join us and explore the world, eating everything. And by everything, I mean enemies, monsters. Yeah, Quimbsh, new optional party member. Who will learn the abilities of enemies by eating them. With their big fork and knife. However, there's some other information to be learned here. Again, good timing for music. Before we go, Vivi would like to ask a question. Master Baby Vivi has some important questions to ask. And that is, hey, Master Quatatouille, don't suppose by any chance you happen to know somebody called Quail, do you? And Quatatouille goes, "No! I don't know that bigot. He's horrible. Don't know him. Nasty piece of work. Terrible. Don't know. Never heard of him." I'm like, oh. Well, he looks a lot like you, and I think he came from around here. No! Never heard of him before. Awful person. Don't like him. Allow. Oh, well, allow sounds like a twat, full stop. Thank you, Automod. So it turns out Little baby Vivi. We've mentioned before that he was raised by his grandfather, who told him a bunch about the world. In particular, where the ice cavern was, although it wasn't an ice cavern at the time, and all that sort of stuff. What Vivi didn't mention is that his grandfather was one of these people. Was a Q. And apparently, Quatatui has had a bit of beef with Grandfather Quail. Grandfather's a fog. I think these are frogs, but really didn't think that would be flagged. I know, like twat. I guess we've never allowed twat before, but I like twat. This is a slightly more playful insult. Never met him before. He's awful. So it's a fun sentence there. The twat's allowed. It sounds like a twat, though it's not. Important distinction, you know. What? It's Gromit's birthday. What? Why did nobody say? Oh, allow. Looked like a twat. If it sounds like a twat, looks like a twat, it's Gromit's birthday. What? It's Gromit's birthday. It's also Wednesday, which is the same as in the picture. Happy birth, Gromit! Wow, Gromit's birthday really is like right between Dark and Oobs's. What do you get if you cross Dark and Oobs? Gromit. What? I'll put that on the calendar for next year. Something special. Squished between. So once again, Vivi attempts to learn something and ends up just being shouted at or bad things happening. So, but Quimbsh is now in the party. We now have a party consisting of Vivi, Nox, Quimbsh, and Simeon. Nox is there. Nox is quite tall. Right, Quimbsh will now accompany us and do very, very important things in the story, given that they are optional. Also, emphasis on they. The Qs, I believe, are... Well, are they all genderless? Quail is referred to as a grandfather, but... them. In the game, it's like... they write... that. Because they hadn't discovered the word they yet. But your grandfather's more of an energy than a gender. Exactly. Yeah, don't worry about misgendering Quimbsh, because if you have food, they'll get over it. Yeah, they are thems. Yeah. So welcome to the first non-binary characters in the Final Fantasy game. Well, that's not true, Faris. If you're upset that this is the first non-binary characters and they look like this, don't worry, Final Fantasy V has Faris, who is cool as hell. They're a pirate. Quimbsh is an amazing them, and you care them a lot, and they're your son, non-gender. They want to find better frogs. Good frogs. That's more than frogs. But what about frogs? They're like frogs that are just acquire what they need at the time to reproduce. Eee. I don't want to think about how these reproduce. I'm imagining it involves food. Yee. So this is obviously what we should be doing on the way to a war, but I guess recruiting is always a good idea. Kinky and messy. That's like the two different perspectives on this situation. Cool. Well, we've recruited and we've learned a little bit about Vivi's past. Because this is Vivi's game. Gosh darn it. What have we learned about the main character? He's a slut, that's it. Vivi's the protagonist. Vivi is the protagonist of Final Fantasy IX. I keep saying this and I hope you now understand why. Simeon's done nothing. No, Simeon sabotaged the hunt so that Vivi could win. Oh, dear. Don't even know who that is. No one important. Vivi did that all on his own. James will definitely tell you Vivi did that all on his own. James is very proud. And is probably missing Vivi now that they've split up. He held Nox hostage so Vivi could win. And that's probably it for the evening. We've met Quimbsh. That's the important part of this stream. Oh, and a war's happening or something. But yeah. Hope you enjoyed. We're getting there. We're getting there. The story. We last time we entered Lindblum. Now we've left Lindblum. It's raining! Hooray! Unless you didn't want it to rain, in which case harumph. Who cares about wars when you can have Quimbsh? Yeah, good place to stop for now. Hereafter, everything's fine. Oh, by the way, if you went to the forest, there's a Chocobo there. And a little Moogle. And you can ride around on the Chocobo and you can dig up treasures. And have a good time. And that's about it. There's a little side quest involved. Well, there's, I guess, quite an important side quest involved. Well, not important to the plot, but important to gameplay. Yay! And you spend a lot of time running around digging up treasure. And hearing them go quack, 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 quack. Yeah, little mini game side quest, and it's quite addictive. Chocobo hot and cold. But yeah, and it allows you to find like treasure maps for treasure around the world. It's really cool. It's a neat little system. And it also allows you to get access to a super boss at the end of the game. Yes, you have to play the Chocobo game in order to fight the super boss. Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't tie into the main story in any way. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention, which is tied to the super boss, is that there are enemies in the world. As you're running around, there are random encounters in the world map and stuff like that. But occasionally you will run into an enemy that isn't actually an enemy. They're friendly. They don't hurt you, but they do. They basically say, "Hey, have you got anything nice?" And you can throw like gemstones at them. Ow. I hit my tablet with my hand as I was miming throwing, as you can very clearly see. Yeah, and you can throw gemstones at them, and they're like, "Oh, cheers, thanks for that. Here's a bunch of experience. Well, here's a bunch of ability points or whatever. Say hello to my friend," and then they mention the name of the next one in the next area, and it sort of ascends and ascends. And if you make all of them happy in order, and you get to the last one, it makes the super boss near the end of the game way easier. So that's kind of fun. If you're friendly to all of the nice enemies, you get to fight the super boss with physically. It's close enough to hit. That's nice. Yeah, the music's different for these battles. It's kind of like a Sugar Plum Fairy kind of thing. Didn't know that. I mean, it doesn't really matter because probably just going to use magic against it, but it's a thing. And there's also another friendly enemy called the Ragtime Mouse, which sounds. If I were to ask you to draw the Ragtime Mouse, just from that name, you would draw something great. and you would be wrong. Top Hat and Kane, yeah, you kind of get in the vibe. Well, not really. Think more a game show host whose head is a set of dentures. It's a weird thing. But it's literally a game show host. It asks you trivia questions about the lore of the world. Like, did the first Lindblom War happen in the 1400s? I don't know. But yeah, that's just another random enemy in the world. That isn't really an enemy, it just wants to ask you quiz questions. Final Fantasy IX's weird. But in a fun way. Yeah. Anyway, Quimbsh. Quimbsh, everybody. And a happy Gromit birthday to you too. Everybody go celebrate Gromit's birthday by doing what Gromit likes. Knitting? Knitting. What else Gromit like doing? You weren't great with those encounters, now me neither. I don't know the lore. I don't remember real world history, let alone bloody fictional Final Fantasy. Happy International Holiday of Gromit Birthday, everybody. Shaking his head at Wallace, yeah, that's I don't know if he enjoys doing it, I think it's just habit at this point. Scowling. Eat cheese. I'm trying to think of what Gromit is usually doing when Wallace drags him away. I want to say he likes doing jigsaw puzzles, but he only did one as far as I know, and that was in prison and he was crying at the time. So I'm not sure that's enjoyment necessarily. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up now. I'll play Quimbsh's theme to play us out. Knitting, drinking tea, and sleeping. Yeah. I'll be back tomorrow morning with some doodles. Probably silhouette stuff again. That was fun. And yeah, and then Chibi Neither's Days in the evening. I don't know what's being done because we finished Borderlands 3. Well, they finished Borderlands 3. I didn't do anything. Yeah, and then we'll be back on Saturday for Celesta, I believe. I think everyone's available for that. Tales from the Borderlands. Ooh, more Borderlands. Borderlands. Where's the thing that I click? Boom. Neville's Day. I finished Borderlands though. I didn't get halfway through. We were playing it together and then we didn't. Yeah. More Zane. Tales of the Moustacheless Man. Oh, I don't know a moustacheless man. I only know a moustached man. He. Not in that one. Ah, boo. Boo! Then what's the point? You like Fiona? Hmm. That sounds good. And Gortis. Gortis. Anyway, look forward to that tomorrow evening. And until then, have a lovely time, everyone. Look after yourselves. Goodbye.